Hello, welcome to Cory Reads. I'm Cory, and this is my channel where I read. We are continuing our reading of the Bible, and right now we are on the book of Moses, or the first book of Moses, called Genesis, chapter 4. And this is dealing with Cain and Abel, and going on from there. And let's get right into it. Okay. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So basically a farmer and a shepherd. And and in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So they both offered up an offering, one of the yearlings and the fat thereof, and from Abel. So he basically gave the like a sacrifice from his flock, and then Cain brought an offering from his whatever he farmed. So God liked what Abel gave him and had no respect for what Cain brought him, and so Cain got jealous. And then the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? And if thou dost well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. That's kind of confusing the way it's written. I'm not really sure. But I mean, the first part, if thou dost well, shall thou not be accepted. So if you do good, you'll be accepted. And if you don't do good, then sin lieth at the door. And then unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So I mean, if you don't do good, then sin's there, and you'll be his desire. So sin's desire, and you should rule over him. And then Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Now it doesn't say what he killed him with. I mean, there's been like a stone, a mule's jaw, but here it just says he slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And so he lies to God. And when God asks him where his brother is, and he's like, I'm not my brother's keeper. Why should I know where he is? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So this is where God curses Abel for slaying his brother, because he asks his brother where he is. Brother lies. He says, well, the ground's saying there's blood's crying from the ground, and now you are cursed. And when thou tilled the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. So basically he can't grow anything anymore as part of his curse. And he's a fugitive and a vagabond. So everybody knows, going to know that he killed his brother, and he's going to have to roam forever. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. So basically he says that that the punishment is too much, and that he is going to hide from God's eye, and roam the earth. But anybody that comes across him is going to want to kill him because he's now a fugitive. And so he's basically saying, you just basically gave me a death sentence, kind of. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. So, if you kill Cain, you're punished 7 times as much. And there's a mark of Cain, so that everybody that finds him, knows that they shouldn't kill him because of the mark, and that they're going to be cursed sevenfold. This part here is kind of what leads into a lot of theories about the first vampire, an immortal, because no one's going to kill him. And yeah, that's kind of ties into a bunch of theories there about vampires and whatnot. And then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. So it's on the east of Eden. So Eden is like the land, and there's a Garden of Eden on the east end of Eden, but Eden's still just the land. So he's still in Eden, but he's in a city, the land of Nod. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called it the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. Now, there's an interesting thing, is all of a sudden there's more people than Adam, Eve, and Cain. Because obviously Cain's got a wife now. Where did she come from? They're just there. And now we have Enoch and Cain's wife, Adam and Eve. Abel's dead. So so these people are there already, but it doesn't really explain where they came from. And now we have Enoch, which there is a book of Enoch that's just not in the regular Bible. It's was never included, or actually was concluded, it was removed. But that's a totally different thing, and I would like to get a copy, and we'll read that sometime once I get a copy of that. But going on. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad beget Mehuliel, and Mehuliel beget Methuselah, and Methuselah beget Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Ada bore Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. So here it's calling Jabal is the father of all the herders that herd cattle and roam around and live in tents. And Zillah, she also had Tubal-Cain, and an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. So here's the first female that was born. Was the sister of Tubal-Cain. And so before that, they're all, I'm assuming, males. And so that's kind of getting like the family tree that you can actually draw and trace down. But there's other people coming in that doesn't really explain where they came from. They're just kind of there. And then the guy had 2 wives. So that's acceptable to have the 2 wives in this part of the Bible so far. And then Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, my wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. And if Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. So here we got Lamech telling his wives that he went and killed 2 people, and that he should be even more cursed than Cain. And then it goes on, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called him his name Seth. For God said, She hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. So we now have Cain has a brother named Seth now, because he slew Abel and then Seth. We have these other sons of Cain and descendants of Cain's, that, well, they're all descendants of Adam and Eve, and other people that doesn't really explain where they came from, but they're just there. And then we built the first city that's mentioned as the city of Enoch, named after Cain's son, and the land of Nod. So that's kind of where we're at here. That is the end of chapter 4, and it kind of sets up, this is after Adam and Eve left. They had Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel. Then he goes out and has a wife, and they reproduce and have a line of children. And then Adam and Eve have another son named Seth. So that's where we leave off in chapter 4. And we will continue from there next time with chapter 5. Thanks for watching.